This episode of the Danicon show is dedicated to my dad, for not only introducing me to what would be one of my favourite films of all time, but introducing me to a genre of movie that would captivate me for years to come. This movie's right up there with Total Recall, Tron, Avatar, Aliens, Blade Runner. I could go on, but you get the idea. This one's for you, Dad. Icon. Fucking nailed it.
Back to the Future! Starring Michael J. Fox as Marty McFly, a teenager who travels back to the year 1955 in a time-travelling DeLorean, built by Dr. Emmett Brown, played by Christopher Lloyd, where he accidentally intervenes in his parents' meeting and has to help them get back together before travelling back to the future in order to preserve his own existence. Grossing in over $381 million and winning a Golden Globe, the film was an absolute success and it quickly became a worldwide phenomenon. Which isn't bad considering the film was originally rejected several times by major film studios over the course of 4 years.
So prepare yourselves for the greatest movie ever.
You could say the greatest movie of all time.
The year is 1985, over 30 years ago in the present, where Marty drops by Doc's workshop. Why a teenager hangs around with an old scientist is never explained. But this is the 80s, and I don't know where I'm going with this statement.
Are you telling me that it's 8:25?
Precisely.
Damn. I'm late for school.
Don't blame Doc for your inability to use a wristwatch.
Marty heads off to school and meets his girlfriend Jennifer, but their principal, Mr. Strickland, catches them running late. Strickland warns Marty he shouldn't be hanging around the dock.
This so-called Dr. Brown is dangerous. He's a real nutcase. If you hang around with him, you're going to end up in big trouble.
Oh, yes, sir.
In all fairness, he has a point. It is weird for a teenager to be hanging... You know what, I've tried explaining this already. He doesn't listen.
1, 2, 3.
Marty is an aspiring musician.
It's all the background hints you gotta pick up on.
He's auditioning to play at his school dance, but he's declined by Huey frickin' Lewis himself because he's too darn loud.
I'm afraid you're just too darn loud.
Too loud? Come on! The louder you are, the cooler you are!
Shut up, Dan. You're not cool.
Marty dreams of making it big and famous. He's got the skills, he's got the girl. All he needs is a chance.
Save the clock tower! Mayor Wilson is sponsoring an initiative to replace that clock.
Lady, the clock tower not working isn't the issue. I'd be more concerned that your nice little town is showing porn during the day. Bro, just take a flyer and get away from this weirdo. Marty heads home, where his dad, George, is being picked on by his old high school bully and now supervisor, Biff.
It just goes to show, beat up people and you'll eventually be in charge of them. That is some bad life advice.
One awkward dinner later, and we meet the rest of the McFlys. We've already met George, the man who can't laugh. Marty's deadbeat brother and sister, Dave and Linda. And finally, alcoholic mother, Lorraine.
You mean failed alcoholic, am I right?
That didn't make any sense, and drinking's harder than it looks. Mother hugger.
Lorraine sparks up a necessary conversation about when she fell in love with George at their school dance. But he's all like, "Woman, please! I'm trying to watch Jackie Gleason here." Later that night, Marty gets a call from the doc, telling him to meet him at Twin Pine Mall's car park to see his latest experiment. A giant remote control car!
I'm just joking, it's the time machine.
But how did he get the DeLorean when it was in the truck? The vertical doors would have made it impossible to get into.
That must be the science!
Doc gives a demonstration by sending his dog Einstein 1 minute into the future and gives us the rundown on how this puppy works. Not the dog, the car. He explains that plutonium generates the 1.21 gigawatts of electricity necessary to power the flux capacitor. Plutonium that he nicked off some Libyans. Otherwise, it's all electrical. It's pretty good on the environment.
Oh my God. They found me. I don't know how, but they found me.
Oh no! Libyans!
Quick! Hide the plutonium! Damn it! Should have hit Doc. Should have hit Doc.
The Doc gets killed to death and Marty hops in the DeLorean to escape, but he inadvertently travels back to the year 1955, killing a pine tree in the process.
You gotta help me. Can't be.
Quite possible. You have a time machine.
This is nuts.
Not nuts. You're sat in a time machine.
Now stuck in the past and the DeLorean dead, Marty now has to find the only person who can help. Doc, from 1955. Before he got shot. Obviously. So he heads into the nearest cafe and picks up his address from a phone book.
Great, you're alive.
I didn't know phone books told you if people were dead. That's pretty handy if you ask me.
While he's there, he bumps into the teenage version of his dad. Dun, dun, dun. And he's every bit of nerd then as he is now. Same goes with Biff, but being an arsehat. George leaves after a square-off with Biff, and Marty follows him, where, without realizing it, oh no, he changes the past. Marty gets hit by the car that would have otherwise hit George, and gets knocked out unconscious. When he comes to, he discovers he's being cared for by his hot teenage mother.
My name is Lorraine. Lorraine Bates.
Oh, hi Lorraine. I'm just leaving. Is that the door?
But you're so thin.
Wow! What a great chat-up line to tell your mother.
Pleased to meet you, Calvin. Marty.
Oh, that's right. Marty's own mother comes onto him. Very strongly. Like, inappropriately strongly. And to be honest, it looks like just for a moment, Marty's contemplating being his own father.
Hello, FBI? Yeah, I'm just calling to say I'm not doing anything dodgy. No, I'm just watching a movie. No, there's no need to come over! I'm in trouble.
Marty's dragged downstairs and gets invited to join Lorraine's family for dinner, which would be his grandparents, I guess.
Hey, I've seen this one. This is a classic.
What do you mean you've seen this? It's brand new.
Yeah, well, I saw it on a rerun.
Don't you think you ought to spend the night? You can sleep in my room.
FBI! Open the door, you sick fuck!
Quickly, Rocky, get rid of him!
Okay, don't worry about it.
Marty heads out to find Doc at his old house and tries to convince him that he's from the future. Doc understandably has a hard time believing Marty's story. That is, of course, until Marty tells Doc the one thing he hasn't told anyone else. The event that led him to create the flux capacitor.
The whole story. You were standing on your toilet and you were hanging a clock and you fell and you hit your head on the sink. And that's when you came up with the idea for the flux capacitor.
Together, they figure out how to power the flux capacitor by using a lightning bolt that will strike the clock tower in a week's time. Remember from the start of the movie where the lady just... yeah. But Doc also figures out that Marty may have started the chain of events that will stop his parents from meeting, and also cause his brother to be born without a head.
Well, he does work in a fast food restaurant, so we already know he doesn't get ahead in life.
They head down to the school and try to set up Lorraine with George, but Lorraine only shows interest in Marty, confirming the Doc's suspicion.
You know what must be done now.
Try and get your parents laid.
Oh, that felt wrong to say.
By making them fall in love at their school dance. You know, with kissing and stuff, like Lorraine explained in the future, conveniently.
Get your meat hooks off of me.
You heard her. She said, get your meat hooks off.
I'm gonna cut you a break. So why don't you make like a tree and get out of here?
Okay, Biff, but only if you make like a bush. And keep the hell out of my face.
Later that night, Marty pays a visit to George dressed in his radiation suit, saying his name is Darth Vader, and tells him to ask Lorraine out to the dance, or otherwise he'll melt his brain. It's a good thing George is a gullible idiot, and that Star Wars wasn't released yet.
Last night, Darth Vader came down from planet Vulcan and told me that if I didn't take Lorraine out, that he'd melt my brain.
Yeah, well, let's just keep this brain melting stuff to ourselves, okay?
Oh yeah, don't want to give off the impression that you're a sad loser who can't laugh.
Lorraine, my density has brought me to you. What?
That's a pretty accurate statement, actually.
And McFly!
Oh, damn, son! Biff shows up right on schedule to bully George some more. But Marty quickly takes the heat, and I bet he just as quickly regrets that decision. This face-off turns into probably one of the most iconic scenes ever filmed. Biff chases Marty around the square and tries to smush him into the poo truck. Yeah! Take that, Biff!
Where does he come from? Yeah, where does he live? I don't know, but I'm gonna find out.
Marty heads back to the workshop to get an update from Doc on getting back home. That is until Lorraine drops by. She asks Marty to ask her to the dance. Pfft, girls. So Marty's next plan is to fake being a douchebag and force himself onto his mum. Then George will come along and beat him off.
Oh god, that was a poor choice of words.
Thus, looking like the good guy.
Hey you, get your damn hands off her.
Okay, that looks pretty easy. Let me give it a go. Hey you, get your damn hams off her. I may have misheard.
So Marty and Lorraine head to the dance together and put the plan into action. Hopefully that's the only thing going into action here.
You shouldn't drink.
Why not?
You might regret it later in life.
Don't be such a square. Everybody who's anybody drinks.
Yeah, Marty, don't tell us how to live our lives. Why is this hard?
What?
Hey, don't worry. I don't know what it is. But when I kiss you, it's like I'm kissing my brother.
Sorry. That wasn't because you kissed your son. That's because you knew what kissing your brother was like.
So everything's going according to plan so far. That is, of course, until Biff and his gang come along and abduct Marty, shoving him in the trunk of a car. Well, Biff begins to pretty much rape Lorraine.
What the hell are you doing to my car?
Hey, beat it, spook. This don't concern you.
It's his car? Of course it's his concern. George comes along as planned and quickly discovers that it's not Marty in the car. Oh. Oh no. Yeah, he got out, yeah. But seeing Lorraine in distress gives George the power to step up to Biff and manages to land the most telegraphed punch in history.
You got the touch! You got the power!
They head inside together, where Marty joins in playing Earth Angels on the stage while his parents share a dance, and eventually kiss, fall in love, and ensuring Marty's existence. Time for a kick-ass music number.
All right, guys, listen to the blues riff and B. Watch me for the changes and try and keep up, okay? I guess you guys aren't ready for that yet.
And now it's time to go home.
Feeling about you?
Marty. Such a nice name.
Yet you call your firstborn Dave.
And now this probably has to be my most favourite scene ever. Marty has to drive the DeLorean past the cable at 88 miles an hour as the lightning strikes the clock tower. But everything goes wrong. Doc rips up the letter Marty tries to give him, explaining he'll be shot the night Marty travels back in the past. The car stalls again, and the cables come disconnected. Every time I watch this, it still gets me excited and on edge. It's just so good! Home safely, sort of, he now has to get to the dock before the Libyans do. And with the DeLorean broken again, I'm starting to see why they went out of business. He has to chase the van on foot. Oh yeah, you're fine. You can run about 2 miles on foot in 10 minutes. Shockingly, Marty doesn't make it back in time and watches the doc get shot again.
Oh no, he still got shot. If only you had a way to control time and go back further than 10 minutes than when you first went in the present. Whose idea was that?
Wait a minute. I got all the time I want. I got a time machine. I can just go back early and warn him. Okay, 10 minutes ought to do it.
I personally would have given myself like a day. Just saying.
Yeah! He's alive! Turns out he put Marty's note back together. Now Doc lives and they have the plutonium.
Suck on that, terrorists!
Doc drops Marty back off home, and the next morning he discovers that things aren't quite how he left it. It's all fancy. His dad is now a successful science fiction writer, his mum's no longer an alcoholic, and his brother and sister are no longer losers.
Yeah, what are you wearing, Dave?
Marty, I always wear a suit to the office.
And yet you still live with your parents. And the biggest payoff? George doesn't work for Biff anymore, and instead waxes cars for a living.
Wait! You mean to tell me that Biff gets punched by a nerd once, and that leads him to become an absolute pussy in the future? What, because he couldn't live with the absolute humiliation? So it's quite believable.
Doc comes along and sets up the scene for the sequel, and flies the DeLorean with Marty, Jennifer, and himself into the future. This movie is a timeless classic. I could sit here and watch it over and over again, still getting goosebumps at that final scene and cringe at the idea of Marty's mother having a hardcore crush on him. The music is well scored and each character is perfectly casted, even with Crispin Glover's weird laugh. Even though the movie only has a handful of special effects, they all look fantastic, and they're all well used without being overused, even for a sci-fi movie. It's more than just a time travel movie. It's a perfect mesh of comedy, romance, and suspense. And to be honest, it'll be hard to find someone who doesn't like this movie.
And that's all from me. Thanks for watching, Broacons.
Hey there guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe before you go. Be sure to also check out my social media accounts, links are in the description. And if you're hankering for more, here are some links to 2 more videos on your screen right now. And until next time, bye-bye!